Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Junior with a classic VW Bug. Today video number 4. We continue to work with Frankenstein's metal repair. I want to send a big shout out to the people that have been adding comments to my videos. It's really appreciated. It helps with the channel, and for me it's a good insight that what we're doing is something that is helping out the community out there. So today I call J-Bucks. I have been receiving partial shipments for all of the order that I put in. I put in a big order for sheet metal. So far I have only received the heater channels, the front apron that came in with defects, and I called them about it and they end up giving me a extra discount, so I'll work my magic to make it look nice. The goal is to take those pieces, test fit them, maybe tack them in place. Frankenstein is kind of like a budget resurrection project, and so far I feel like I have grown so many attachments to the car that I don't know what I'm going to do at the end of this project, but honestly we have to sell this car so we can fund Casper the Rusty Bus. All right, that being said, enough of the talking, more wrenching. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the camera, flip the lens over, and get under the car, see what I still need to remove out from here and from the front firewall, so that we can test fit those heater channels. I will do the test fit and draw lines or scrape lines as to what areas I am going to be tacking, you know, and if it needs any type of modification. But before I install those heater channels in a permanent fashion, they have to be prepped, which I will also do that. And there's also many videos out there that show you how to prep the sheet metal, and we'll take it from there. We'll see where this video takes us today, okay? But it is cold, so let's go ahead and get into wrenching so we can warm up. So if I want to test fit my heater channels, I am going to have to get this piece of this remnant of the heater channel off, and then grab a buffing wheel or a sanding disc and get this surface clean. I really don't think that I'm going to do much to that, because like I said, I'm going to replace this section of the quarter panel, and this is going to be already in the new quarter panel, so that's going to be new. So I think this is a situation that is going to be applicable to both size, this quarter panel and that other quarter panel. So that being said, I think that what I'm going to do is remove that door. There's a little section of the heater channel right there that I didn't get to because it got dark when I was working here, so I'm going to go ahead and work on that. Okay, so let me get a screwdriver and get the bolts out so I can remove that little section right there. So there is a weld that goes from here all the way to here, and up to right there. We have to grind that down, and obviously there should be a couple of spot welds right here, here and here, and then once I get those off this piece, it should come off. guess I'll have to patch this up, but I will patch that up when I install the heater channels. That way I'll have a reference as to how to make this patch, or I may end up purchasing this small section right here, who knows. So I don't know if the camera is doing justice to this here. It's really hard to show here, but I still have a remnant piece of the heater channel that I removed, so I'm gonna have to remove that. If you can see here, right there, if you see that, I gotta remove that out, and then the rest here, like this piece right here, I have to actually skin that off from here. So maybe if I go around this well here, it might help to do that. So I'm gonna do that next. So I have to clean up this section right here, right there. We got to remove this remnants off. These are chunk of pieces from the old heater channel. We got to get rid of those. So I'm actually removing that. It's hard to record it, so what I'm doing is I'm using my angle grinder to cut these pieces off and pulling them, skinning them off with a plier. So that's what we're doing right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off, skin it off. As you can see, let me reverse the camera here. So we cut the well here. I left this piece here, which I know I'm gonna have to cut it off. I already fabricated a piece that I need for here. But if you look in there, so that metal that you see there, we have to skin that off. And then if you are watching the series of videos that I have been doing for Frankie, you know that I already fabricated this piece that I am going to be replacing it as soon as I get a chance. But right now I'm using it as a reference. So we're gonna go ahead and cut off whatever we got in there and skin it off. I skinned the metal that was here off. There still is a little bit right here if you look right there, and I have been holding on cutting off that piece right there, but I think that I can go ahead and actually cut it off. It's not going to hurt anything if I cut it off or if I leave it, but I think it will benefit me more to cut it off because I will have the space, the clearance to test fit the heater channel to see how much I have to clean up here. Once I do that, then I'm gonna move to the front firewall. Once I complete that, then I'm gonna move to see if I can remove that firewall and determine what is going to stay, what is not going to stay, or if I am just going to remove it all and replace it for the new one. We'll see. We'll see how much damage we have. But that's about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get one of the heater channels and test fit it here to see what it looks like. I have to fabricate a small piece of metal for right here, and that will cover the end of the heater channel. So there's some repair that I have to do. I think this will actually be repaired when I install the other piece, so that's not gonna be a problem. And there is still more work to be done down here and here. Okay, so moving along. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that heater channel and give it a test fit to see where we at. Let's go ahead and get that heater channel. So it's almost 7 p.m. I fiddle a little bit around with this heater channel, and I got one of the new heater channel, the driver's side, and I tried to do a test fit and it didn't want to go in. I had to pound a couple of places. I got it to get into place, but I think that's not going to be the best path going forward to do that. I am going to install the heater channels onto the floor pans with a couple of bolts, make sure everything lines up pretty well, and then I'm going to take the shell and set it on top of it and see what adjustments needs to be made to install them, to tag them into place. Okay, so, and the other thing that I'm gonna do is try to remove the rest of the firewall. I think that the next step for me would be to cut off these wells right here and here, bend this up a little bit, and try to pry this skin off from here and see how I can get the rest of it out so that I can install the new one. Ideally, I didn't want to do that, but I think that it's going to be the best for me on the long run. I think it's going to make it easier, although it's more time consuming, more work, because I have to skin it off. I have to get these layers of metal off. That's what I'm going to do. So I already started to drill out some of the welds. As you can see here, some of them went through, some of them did not. But the next step, maybe tomorrow I'll come back, cut off this here, cut off this other well here, bend this up a little bit. There may be another few spot wells behind that I may have to remove. Then I'm gonna take a small crowbar and try to pry this skin off, remove this here and get the back off, and then start prepping my new front firewall. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it there for tonight, and I'm gonna come back. I also have to come up with a small piece of metal to fix this here, and I have to take my square nuts and see how I can remove the broken bolts that are still sealed into the treads, or if not, I'll just grab a piece of flat bar and measure it against this here, find the two centers, and tap the right size tread and make new ones. That's another option that I may have. Well, anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. I'll come back tomorrow and continue to work on this. Somebody broke into my shed and stole my CT 2050 Yes welding machine that I purchased last year for Black Friday. Interesting fact, it just happened shortly after I did my unboxing video of my second Yes welder machine. But you know, it is what it is, and you know, humans, you think about it, you want to have hope in humankind, but it gets to the point where you just lose faith in humanity. You have these parasites out there that they don't care how many sacrifices you have made in your life to probably make a budget to get whatever it is that you have or you own to work on your cars and things like that. But you know, that's society. People with drug habits and things like that, they don't care. They don't give a crap about what they do to others, as long as they rip you off and, you know, they take your property and they go and they pawn it or sell it for a couple of dollars so that they can get their cure. So it's a sad thing, but it is what it is. But anyway, enough of that. So again, apologies to my followers for not being able to upload much more freaking videos. So I thought that I was in a good flow with the resurrection and sheet metal work with Frankie. But if I feel like I come to a stop, I've been having sort of like issues with J-Box, not being able to deliver, stocking out on materials and things like that. I had a big order that I placed for the material that I needed to work in restoring Frankie. I just got partial shipments, and I got the heater channels, and the front apron came with defects. They gave me an RA to return it back. It was more to return it, I guess, than the money that I was going to get back. So I called them and they opted to give me an additional credit so I could keep it like that, and then I'll just fix it. But I did do a big no mistake, which learned from my mistake. I was so excited about getting all this sheet metal in here that I put in that big order, and unfortunately for me, I didn't realize that when I actually place the front firewall in the cart, for some odd reason my settings defaulted to an earlier version of a car, and it defaulted to a Beetle. So I order a front firewall for a Beetle from 68 to 77 or 76, something like that. I called them about it. They said, yeah, go ahead, send it back. They still said that they were going to charge me restocking fee. I get it, it's my fault. But at the end of the day, when I went to return it back, I was going to get a credit from them for like about $75. And believe it or not, I went to USPS. USPS wanted to charge me $54 and change to send it back. They recommended I check with UPS. UPS wanted $66 to ship it back, and then I went to FedEx, and FedEx was the least expensive with giving me a quote of $50 and I think 90 cents. So I decided to keep it. I'll just put it on the market and sell it, or I don't know if I may be able to modify it in a way that I can use parts of it to repair my front firewall. That's the story of it. So don't make the same mistakes that I did. So what do I have an agenda? Since I really don't have all of the things that I need to work in the sheet metal repair for the car. If you look back over here, so this is the center support that fastens to the tunnel in the car. And I'm pretty sure there's a couple of spot welds behind that. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to grind off this string of welds here and here and lift this up to see if I can get to the back of that, then drill out those spot welds and see if I can remove this section here. I'm thinking that if I remove this section here, I will have a better visibility to the back of that, and perhaps I can use the back of the Beetle front firewall that I purchased erroneously and use it to make a nice template, cut out a piece of sheet metal and replace this one in the back. I have to take the this piece right here and reinforce it, or maybe fabricate a new box for that, because that's where the heater channels will attach to with the bucks nuts that go in here. So I know this is not a very fun video, but I still thank you for supporting me and being there for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and grind this well here and here, lift this up and see if I can get to those wells. So let's get wrenching. I continue to work with the car on and off intermittently. I have been traveling and doing some other stuff, but still working with the firewall. Continue to drill out the spot welds and little by little pry some of the areas to get it out. So I'm not filming as I do that because, as I explained earlier, all you need is just a spot weld drill bit like this, and then you drill over that spot weld. So as you can see right there, you continue to drill over those spot welds until you get them all out. Now there are some areas where I am not being successful because the metal is so rotted and flimsy that I am not going to be able to get it out. Now I'm not filming this. It's really tedious to get a tripod inside here and at the same time trying to capture everything but I do. But you get the idea. All you have to do is get these little spot welds out and then use a little chisel or a little pry bar like this and pry it little by little. You just got to be patient and take your time doing it. Okay, so I'm gonna get back to that. I'll bring you back when I'm done removing this piece here. Okay, so I was able to remove the front section of this firewall, and as you can see, this back here is pretty flimsy. Will I be able to duplicate this part? That I guess I can maybe try to fix it and see how it goes. Maybe I can duplicate the par looking at another one, or looking at the one from Sunny the Super Beetle. I don't know, we'll see. I think I'm gonna try to get this out anyway, since I already have this section out. I may have to reinforce these supports right there, and for this right here I may have to do a patch up, but I'm thinking that these are also welded to here. I'm not sure, so I'll keep on digging in there and I'll bring you back when I figure this out. But so far it looks like this support here, where the bottom flange of the heater channel attaches to with the square nuts that goes right here, it's welded to that. I don't know, I have a feeling that that's what's happening. So if I can figure out a way to work around this piece here without having to remove it, I may be okay. I'll let you guys know what's going on. But that's what it looks so far. So today, in a little bit of time, I have accomplished more than some other days. I guess you just have to go back at it. You know, sometimes you get exhausted, you get frustrated, and you end up messing it up. So what I have been doing is every time I can't do something right away, I step away from it. All right, so I'll bring you back here in a little bit. The trunk side, and as you can see here, I somehow identify some of the spot welds and I drill them out. The only area I'm having a little bit of a trouble is this one right here. So what I'm gonna try to do is now go inside, and using this tool here, I'm gonna try to go in between the crevice. Let me go ahead and get inside. As you can see, some of the holes you can see through. So I'm gonna use this tool here, and with my hammer, I'm gonna try to separate that from the body. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, this is not an easy job. It's not impossible. And maybe I wouldn't say that it is not easy, it's just tedious. It's just a very tedious job. Too many spot welds to be removed in order to get the piece out, so you can get the other piece and do all of the repairs that one must do if you're trying to get the car roadworthy. But now, this was supposed to be just a resurrection project for me, but honestly, a restoration project, and to be honest with you, the more I work on it, the more I keep thinking, I don't know if I'm going to sell this car after I'm done with it, but I have to. But you can see how it's beginning to separate from the body. We may even have to do some metal repair there after I'm done, because I may have not got into all of the spot welds. So there's some areas where you can see right here, but I'm gonna try to chisel it out, and then I'll just do whatever repairs I need to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop the camera here, but that's basically what I'm doing. I need to get this piece out, okay? Okay friends, so I was able to get this piece out, as you can see right there. And I'm going to have to save this piece to use it as a reference when I work installing the new one. I think that I may have to reuse this piece right here, and I'm not sure if the new piece comes with this other back section here. But she's out, and I don't know if I want to try to duplicate this piece with a heavier thick of metal. But you know what, quite frankly, I think that I am going to order just the replacement part and just install it and just work with it. Which, now that this is open like this, it gives me an opportunity to work on that bottom section right there, clean all of that and paint it, give it some good coat of rusty silver treatment, as well as paint it with a POR 15 to protect it. But that's out. So I don't know if these supports come with the new piece. And if you know, just comment in the comment section and let me know if you have done this before. But this is the first time that I remove a front firewall from a Super Beetle, so I think that that's done deal. So I think that that's it for today. But as you can see, I did not record the whole thing of me, you know, removing these spot welds with the spot weld remover drill bit. I had to do it inside the trunk. I had to drill out all of these here. I may have to use my body hammer to recondition some of this here. I may have to pound this back in that way to get it to the right shape, but that's no big issue. But we got her out, and then once we install the new piece, then we will just fill all of these holes with a pluck weld, and then we'll use some seam sealer to make sure that we seal it really nice. But she's out. Okay, well, my friends, that's pretty much it for today. Sorry for not having been uploading videos more often, but I have been doing some traveling, and a burglar just broke into my shed here, and they stole my brand new Yeswell CT 2050, and it actually put a little toll on me, because, to be quite frankly, I was a little bit down for quite some time. I wasn't sure if I wanted to continue to do any more videos, just because that's how we are, you know, human beings. We sometimes get emotional, we get down. I got to do something about my work space here. I was trying to get a little shop here in the back to work my stuff, but winter is already here. We may get some snow sometime, and I don't know how much I will be able to work on Frankie out here. Well, if this is the first time that you're watching my channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is Junior with Classic VW Bucks. Junior out.